started off so great shooting the ball, then had a little bit of a dry spell and turned it on the other day. What have you seen the differences in the ups and downs for him?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's still a young sophomore, right? Stepping into a new role, a bigger role. Came out of the gates on fire to start the season. I thought teams, then put him on top of the scouting report and made some adjustments to him. And I think, Seth needed to make the adjustments as well. We're asking him to do a lot. Last year, I think he was more of just almost a standstill shooter. And now we're trying to get him in the post a little bit. He's got to get to the foul line for us, driving the ball for us. So I just it took him a little bit of time to adjust. I think we took him out of that starting lineup just to help him, see the game maybe a little bit differently, get a little different perspective of what defenses are doing. And I think that maybe helped him a little bit. And he's come out and he's been real aggressive for us. Past couple of games, he's been really good. I mean, obviously he played really well against Ohio State, but I thought he played really well against Northwestern as well. So as long as he continues to get better, and the thing about Seth that's really what we're happy about, it's not only just his shooting or scoring. He's been rebounding the ball and defending for us as well.
Just real quick, it's so obvious, but coaches say it all the time. Now you're on the scouting report. How difficult can that be for young players to understand that when you do that, now people are going to focus on you?
Yeah, and it's a real thing. Like, he's always been on the scouting report, but maybe he was lower down the list, Then all of a sudden they got to put him on the top of the list. It's the same thing that MJ had to go through, right? Like, MJ, beginning of the year, he was the guy. And I thought, coming back, he was our leading scorer. And I thought, having to get him to settle in. And he's done a really good job on it. He's been playing like himself now. Just adjusting to having to take on those bigger roles. It's difficult.
Evan Patrick, let's come to you for your question. And then if you'll raise your hand using the raise your hand function.
Hey, Jim. So for a few years in a row now, Penn State has been at the top of, or if not, like the top team, the Big Ten in steals. And I'm just wondering what goes into that. Is how much of that is personnel? How much of that is what you're trying to, I guess, emphasize on that end of the floor as a coaching staff?
Yeah, I said this before about embracing who we are. We don't have that huge front court. We don't have shot blocking, rim protection. So the way for us to get stops or get opportunities and easy baskets is to steal the basketball. It's a philosophy that's worked out. We've had to adjust it a little bit this year just because of not having that rim protection. We've had to tighten things up a little bit. But I think it's been a philosophy here, and guys have bought into it. And it's also like the personnel. Like, Jamari Wheeler's impact on games is stealing the ball. Sam Sessions, maybe being an undersized guard, he has to have an impact on the game defensively, and his impact is stealing the basketball. Isaiah Brockington's an athlete getting in passing lanes. So I think it's kind of like I said, embracing who we are and fitting up personnel.
Nate Bauer, let's come to you next, and then Corey Geiger, you're on deck.
Hey, Jim. I'm paraphrasing, but you made a point to say after the game that you didn't want Ohio State to kind of beat you twice with carry over into this game. What, as a leader, what's your approach to that? How do you handle a situation like that?
Well, the guys, we have such competitors here, so we played well enough to win that game. We had opportunities to win that game. We had shots to win that game. So you can't put your head down and like I said, let that game affect us, coming into practice yesterday and then moving forward today and then getting ready for tomorrow. And I think, as a leader, we still have to, improve on the things, improve on our weaknesses, things that we aren't doing well, or maybe the breakdowns that we have. But we also have to emphasize the positives. And there's been some major positives. I'm really proud of this group, the resiliency of this group, the leadership of this group, the connectiveness of this group. We did some really good things against a great basketball team and really had a chance to win the game. So, as a leader, it's my job to keep it present and keep it positive and making sure these guys understand that how good we really are. Yet we have to, our margin of error is small. So you can't just ignore the things that you didn't do well, but you also have to emphasize what you are doing well and continue to work to get better. And that's what we're doing.
Nate, thanks for bringing that up. Just as a quick note, and it does come out every day, but the NCAA net, we're currently 35 today. That's the highest we've been in 2020-21. So, Corey, let's come back to you. And then, Nate, you're on deck again.
Rose, what a perfect segue. That was great because you can talk about got to focus on this game and that game, but there is this bubble thing. and I know your kids, Jim, are watching games on TV like all college basketball players are doing. They see what Rose just said. They see where they are, maybe in the first four out. How do you manage the bubble stuff at this time of year and try to keep your kids away from it as much as you can?
The bubble means nothing unless you start winning games. You got to win games. We have great opportunity because we're in the Big Ten. We got great opportunity. We're a good team. We're getting better. We have a ton of opportunities ahead of ourselves, and you just have to focus on being present. If you're talking about a group of guys that have done such a good job of just focusing on the present, it's this group. But everything they've been through, the pandemic, the pause, everything, these guys have done a fantastic job of it. I don't look at our guys as looking ahead or past or anything. I mean, we got Wisconsin in front of us, right? Like that's if you're looking at anything other than, personnel, how do we stop them? How do we score against them? Then you're doing yourself an injustice. And our guys, they're mature about it. Listen, this is a program that reached heights last year that hadn't really been reached, being a top 10 program. And then, maybe we did look at the press clippings a little bit and dropped our guard. So I think that group has learned from this. But ultimately, like you said, it's about winning basketball games. And for us, it's about getting better every day because that's going to help and lead us to winning basketball games. The rest of the stuff takes care of itself at the end of the year.
Jim,
let's come over to you, and then it'll be Evan Patrick.
A couple personnel questions. Is there an update on Sam, and how did Miles come out of the other night?
All right, so first with Sam, we're still monitoring him. We're going to practice here in a little bit, so we'll get to see him get up and down the floor a little bit if he can, and then we'll monitor him again tomorrow morning. If he can do some stuff today, we'll monitor how he responds tomorrow morning, and then make a decision game time. Miles, obviously he played. He was a little sore. Again, received a lot of treatment yesterday, and it'll be the same mentality. We're just going to keep it day by day and see where he's at after we practice.
Evan Patrick, let's come to you.
Jim, with having Sessoms out that last game and Miles out before that, has there been any, negative effects that you've noticed from just having those rotations change kind of slightly night to night, or how have the guys handled that?
No, I think the guys have handled it great. I mean, you look at Sam, not only was Sam out, but then MJ picked up 2 early fouls in the first half. That really put us in a tough situation, only having really 1 point guard. I thought we did a good job of managing him, through media timeouts and getting him in and out offensive and defensively. But it shortened the bench up a little bit, But I think our guys, again, another sign of resiliency. We won 2 games without Miles Dredd. That says a lot because he's a really good player. And then to play as well as we did in stretches without Sam, I think it shows, again, the character of our group, the next man up mentality. So like anything else this year, like you got to be flexible. You got to deal with it. I think us as a coaching staff did a really good job of, understanding, who has to play more minutes, who doesn't, type of rotation, and who's got to be ready. I talked to the younger guys on the bench, and the guys haven't played a lot. Like, everybody's got to be ready, and this is a total team effort.
Nate Bauer, let's come back to you, and then Corey Geiger, you're on deck.
Another perfect segue, Jim. Where are those guys, the true freshmen? How much closer are they to being ready, and what are some of the areas that they need to improve before they are?
They're getting there. The pause certainly hurt with the development of some of the younger guys, not being able to practice. But they all got to stay ready. DJ Gordon got in a game against Illinois. I think he got in a game a little bit against either Rutgers or Northwestern. They just got to be ready. Yesterday we did not do much with our starters. Obviously, they put in a lot of minutes, but we did a lot of work with the guys that haven't been playing. So everybody's just staying sharp and waiting for their name to be called. And when their name's going to be called, I'll have trust in every single one of them to go out and do their job. And they're great kids. They're great guys. Really, really worked hard to get better. None of them, not one has even complained, not one bit. About playing time or stuff like that. They're really totally bought into this team and totally committed. And they know, John Harrah is a great example for all these guys. We bring up his freshman year. He didn't play at all until late in the season when Mike Watkins got hurt. And John was one of the guys that leads to an NIT championship. So, we use that as an example when we get to see a guy like John in front of us every day, which I think helps these guys.
Perfect example there. John Hara has had more rebounds in the last 6 games than he had his entire freshman year. So with that, we'll go to Corey Geiger.
Jim, you got great shots at the end of the game. So I don't really mean this as a second guessing. It was just so unusual.
But you are going to second guess. So
I'm actually not. I'm really not. I'm true. Nate and I talked about this on the radio. I truly am not because the result was good.
Yeah,
but you had Rockington on the bench, and that is so unusual to have one of your best players on the bench in crunch time. Now, again, you got the shots, but what goes into the? I know you said that everybody else was in a flow, but how do you come about that decision?
So that was a decision we made as a staff. Brock had picked up his 4th foul. He was out for a while. We thought he might have been a little cool at that time. And to be quite honest, Miles Dredd, right? He's the guy that's made a ton of shots, to help us. We felt like we needed to spread the court because they were in such good gaps. So having Miles out on the court thought was going to give us a little bit more spacing for MJ to attack. Now, some people might have said, hey, take Jamari out, but Jamari's the facilitator point guard that's got to make the play. Got to make the pass and delivery. So, it's something that we talked about. Will it be different next time? We don't know. It's like I said, we're a team that's really based on who's got it going. I thought we got 2 really great shots. I thought the guys really executed exactly what we wanted to do. Just can't control the ball going in at that point. But very fair question.
Yeah, I'm completely serious. You guys, Nate, I said to him the other day, it worked out phenomenal because you ended up getting great shots.
Yeah, at that point we didn't want to have someone be able to be in the gaps because we knew we had to try to get in there to get a shot. So we just thought at that point it was the right decision.
Evan Patrick, let's come to you for the final question of the session with Coach Ferry.
Jim, you've spoken so highly of John this entire season, and he's had a lot on his shoulders being kind of the sole big man down there that's playing a lot of minutes. But these last 6 games, as Rose mentioned, he's really been on a tear on the offensive glass, more so than he was even early in the year. Is there any reason behind that? Can you point to one specific moment maybe or for his increase in play, I guess?
John's just a special human being, and he knows that's what the team needs, and he's going to do whatever he can to give what this team needs. I mean, I think if he gets 4 offensive rebounds in this game, I think he sets a record or tied for something. Like what he's doing is just phenomenal. And he's also sending a message to his team. Like if he can empty the tank every game, then I think all of us, including me, we can all give a little bit more. If John can do what he's doing, we can all give a little bit more. So. John, I said it over and over again, he's just a special person, special human being, a special teammate. And if this is what we need to do, then he's going to do it for us. And again, I just can't praise this kid enough.